we actually got down to finding out more information that just confirms, Jennifer, you are a liar. You're a liar.
And I'm like, come on through, Cookie. I'm going up on my soapbox. That's basically it. Let's talk about drag in all its forms. What, Cookie?
Hey guys, thanks so much for clicking on the video. This is my review for Basketball Wives. This is season 7, episode 11. First things first. There's this little thing that they do. You know, it was Shaunie and Evelyn were actually out. And they're always shading. That's just what they do. They just shade each other, even when they're not around. Now, there's the whole bad blood thing with Tami and Evelyn. Evelyn's out with Shaunie, still throwing shade at Tami. They were in this little store. And Ev was throwing this shade at Tami about wearing knockoff designer labels. I was like, no, was that necessary, Evelyn? And Shaunie not playing into it. That's when you are being kind of petty. You're being kind of petty when you throw in shade and the person that you're with isn't even like going along or kikiing about the shade you're throwing. So what's the whole purpose? You already know Shaunie is friends with Tami. Shaunie is learning not to have herself in the middle of the bullshit. But she threw the little shade at Tami about wearing knockoffs. And I'm sitting there and I'm laughing. And I said, now, Evelyn, now, bitch, I'm ready to read you because and y'all look at this. Do you see that shirt? So you're reading Tami for doing knockoffs. Now, I guess that is a real Givenchy t-shirt. But it looks worn. And it looks old. And there's nothing worse than a t-shirt that looks a little ashy. And at first I said, well, maybe the shirt looks a little ashy because that's the way it's supposed to be. Maybe it's supposed to have a little bit of a distressed look. And I don't even know if in the picture that it actually looks as distressed. When I was watching on complete HD, and it looked ashy as hell, like somebody had put out a Newport on that motherfucking shirt. And then I looked at the collar, and the collar looked a little straight. I said, that shirt right there, that's not the shirt to put on when you are coming down on somebody for wearing knockoff labels. Because even if that's a real label, the motherfucker look old and look worn. So, Evelyn, you being petty, and I just couldn't get with it. I really couldn't. I was like, I ain't like that too much. Anyway, next thing we actually see, Malaysia and Jackie had a scene where, we were having all this situation lately with Malaysia and her fear and phobia of police officers. So Malaysia was talking to Jackie about Officer Norman from Off of Social Media. And I said, oh, I know who he is. We see him all the time. He's a Caucasian officer, and the kids absolutely love him. Wherever that is that he's from, the kids love him. And he's made a point of actually going into the neighborhood, meeting the people, knowing the people, and actually having it where they're not afraid. He doesn't want the children to be afraid. He even told a story of how there were 4 kids who seen him and just started running, and they ran into the house. And he literally parked his car, went up to the house, knocked on the door, and had the parent, and said, I just want to know why the kids got afraid and they ran away from me. And he said, I don't want to do that. That's where he started to build these relationships. And I said, well, that's really good. That's really good. And I did. And when you see him, it's hard not to kind of just, he looks safe. You know what I mean? But you can actually see the real situation with Malaysia. Because I don't think Malaysia is that good of an actress. Okay? He came and he didn't wear his uniform, which was smart. He had on this up down child. The outfit was fucked up. The outfit was fucked up. I said, no, Officer Norman, I know you're making more money than that outfit's fucked up. And it probably might have been some expensive piece of shit was fucked up. But anyway, he come across the street and on sight Malaysia just went into this whole thing of like start crying, and she went through this whole thing, and I'm like, Malaysia. I'm like, wow, it was really hard to watch her going through that. And then we got Jackie again. I'm like, here we go back with me and this Jackie. I am like, I think I'm just kind of like slickly falling in love with Jackie. It's just terrible. Y'all not gonna stand Jackie with her old nasty, crazy stuff. But Jackie in the last few episodes, we're seeing such a soft, sweet side of Jackie that you can't help. I just want to give Jackie a hug. But Jackie was there for Malaysia. She was no nonsense, no bullshit, none of that. She was just there for her, like, I think it was like she was the parent that her baby is reaching out for. That's who we're seeing with Jackie. And I got a sneaking suspicion that it's not going to be very long before Jackie actually is able to piece together this situation that she has going on with her daughter, and that's going to be made better in years to come. I didn't know in the beginning how that was ever going to play out, but I got a sneaking suspicion that the universe is going to fix that. I do. I think the universe is going to fix that. The more Jackie goes through counsel and getting Jackie together, I think she's going to be able to fix that situation with her daughter and, rebond with her daughter and her grandchildren. I'm hoping anyway. But I think everything's going to be all right with that. But she was really there for Malaysia. It was really good to see. I was like, hats off to police officer Norman. He was really, he was real cool. He was real cool, and he did, and he worked with her, he walked with her, he talked with her, listened to what was going on. They actually even got her to be able to embrace him toward, at the end of their visit. So I was like, hats off to him. That was really cool, because it was really rough to watch in the very beginning. Okay, then we had this scene with Jackie, Malaysia, Kristen, and Cece. What? That's like Malaysia. We'll say beer tastes like piss. Hey, Malaysia, what was you doing, bitch, that you know what piss tastes like? I want to hear that story where you was tasting piss. I want to know. Anyway, but Cece, I looked over at that Cece. Cece, you are a passive-aggressive bitch. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. And you messy. And you're messy on top of it. You sat there and you brought up a story about your birthday party, knowing that Kristen was sitting there at the table. Kristen's sitting there at the table. And you didn't invite her to that birthday party. A birthday party that she's been invited to every year for the last 4 years. But you didn't invite her to this one because shit's fucked up. And that was cool. And there was nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with the fact that shit is fucked up and y'all ain't been hanging out together and you ain't invited her to your birthday party. But bitch, where the problem is that this is not the time to bring up how much fun you had at the birthday party, bitch, knowing that she wasn't invited. That was some old passive-aggressive, shady bullshit. And y'all see, I'm getting ready to tell you a story. Okay? Get ready to tell you a story. I have a good friend. Well, yeah, I have a good friend. And she did something very passive-aggressive to me in the same vein of this birthday shit. And I don't even know if she ever actually admitted to herself that this is what she was doing. Because she does know that she's passive-aggressive. She'll admit it if you push her. But ain't no need to push her and make her cry and all of that. There's no need to do all that. Because you're going to be friends or you're not going to be friends. Ain't no need to take her down that road. But this is just shit she does. So let's go into it. Her birthday came. Now, I am synonymous for forgetting her birthday. And it's not just her birthday. I will forget birthdays. The only birthdays that I really stay on, my kids and my mother. My kids, my mother, my brother. You know what I mean? I will forget birthdays. It is what it is. Now, my best friend, the male and the female, it's very hard to forget their birthdays because my mother's birthday is literally, their birthdays all fall in a 2-week span. So I don't forget their birthdays because it's all bing, bang, boom. It's all right there together in a week and a half span. But I'm synonymous for forgetting birthdays. So she calls me on the phone. She says, "Hey, Chef, you forgot my birthday." So here I go again, and you feel bad because you're doing the same apology all over again, and it's like, damn, you really are sorry for doing it, but when you do the same apology for the same thing so many times, then it kind of starts to lose its zeal. So I'm like, damn, I'm like, oh, I'm so sorry, you know what I mean? Whatever. So then I say to her, I says, well, what did you do? What did you do to celebrate your birthday? What did you, what did you end up doing? This just, continuing the conversation. What did you end up doing? This bitch tells me all about this party she had at her house and how much fun she had at her party. And now I'm sitting there on the phone like this. Bitch, for real. for real. Now, you know how my mouth is. What was it really that she was looking for? Because I know she don't want me to cuss her out. Because if I cuss her out, she's going to cry. She's a crier. She's not built for that part of me at all. And she knows me real well. She not built up for that part of me. Okay? At all. And she knows that I can destroy her with my mouth. So why would you even put yourself out there in harm's way like that? It's that passive aggressive bitch that lies dormant inside of her. And that's what I'm saying. I don't think that I was able to just move past it because I don't believe in my heart that she actually got herself sat down and said, you know what, I'm ready to go at him. I'm getting ready to do this. I'm ready to call him. I'm ready to hit him with this shit real quick. Can't nobody make me believe that she sat and did that, because you'll never know what you're going to get. You might get cussed all the way the fuck out. If I ever thought that you were literally calling yourself trying to destroy me with some bullshit, then I would get you. So I just kind of let it go. But again, this is what I thought about when this happened. I said, this is that old passive aggressive fuck shit. And that's what it was. Cece, bitch, you petty. And my friend was petty too. But I'm going to give her the pass, because I don't believe that she sat down and fought it out like Cece did. And she could have. If she could have, she might have done that. And God was with her and he let her get past with it. But I believe Cece literally sat down and thought about that shit before she even came to that goddamn dinner. And she hit Kristen with it. And it did bother Kristen. That bothered Kristen. That bothered her. And then she wouldn't even admit to it. She wouldn't even admit that this is what she was doing. Said, bitch, you is petty as hell. Petty. But whatever. Anyway. And then Kristen ends up in their conversation starting talking about Jen. And when she did it, Malaysia got up and walked off. She's like, I can't do fake. I don't fuck with Jen. I don't like Jen. I ain't feeling that Jen shit. And I ain't even sitting here with Kristen talk about Jen. Fuck Jen. And got up and walked off. She is really done with Jennifer. Like, really done. And I can see it. Because Jennifer tried to do her. She really did. A mess. Anyway, moving on. Next thing we actually had was Shaunie and Tami. And they actually sat down and they talked about Shaunie. Shaunie had a scene a little earlier on with her sons. They want to move out of the house. They want to get a house. And Shaunie just fucking with them, because she knows she's going to buy them that damn house, and they're going to go and they're going to live and they're going to be fine. So I just kind of laughed at that. That was funny. But she was telling Tami about the boys and them moving out and all of that, trying to get away from her. And then Shaunie talked some sense into Tami and told her, you want to leave that alone? You want to leave that alone? That whole thing with you and Reggie and you playing around with this engagement and acting like you don't want to be engaged and all this shit, you better leave that shit alone. She's like, you playing because you going to do that. That shit might, flip back on you and you ain't going to like it. So I was like, thank God you talking some sense into her, because I was like, Tammy, you about to fuck up for real. You better grab your man and make some fun for however long it lasts. Like I said last week, if it be 30 minutes or 30 years, bitch, and enjoy yourself. And Shaunie actually went and said again, she's just done with Jen. She don't have Jen to do. Jen and her bullshit, she just ain't feeling it. She don't want nothing to do with her. And I can see that. Okay, and the last thing I'm going to talk about, Jackie actually did her PSA. She did that. And she had a release party. She had everybody dressed in black. So Jen had it all planned out. She'd already told Kristen, I got these receipts in my old phone. I got my old phone. And Tami want to play games. Fuck all that. I got my shit. I got my receipts. And this, that. Like, okay, so we've been waiting to see what's in this phone. What you got? Kristen was standing there talking to Malaysia. Shaunie kind of walked up. It's like, girl, y'all gossiping about something. Oh, no, girl, we're not gossiping. She said, yeah, y'all gossiping about something. What is it? So Kristen basically came out and said, you know, Jen actually has receipts about Tami. She said, I just didn't understand. I don't understand how you got so mad at Jen, but you don't seem like you're mad at Tami. And as far as where I'm looking from, they are both the same. They're both the same amount of guilty as the other. Like, and I don't understand what that is. And so Shaunie had this dress on. I wasn't feeling that dress. That dress, 2 sizes up, Shaunie. 2 sizes up. That's all I'm gonna say. It was squeezing. It was fitting her like a spank. I was like, what is that all about? Shaunie built nice. I didn't get that she do 2 sizes up in that dress. But she before you knew anything, everybody was there. Everybody was present. Tami was standing there and Jen was there, and they were all there. And when Jen walked in, everybody was giving it was that whole vibe. Wasn't nobody feeling that whole work. So I was like, okay, wow. So they're all together, and then Jen starts. And, you know, shit, Shaunie brought it back and was like, you wanted to know, so this is what I'm telling you why I'm mad with Jen and not with Tami. Tami explained herself. Jen still is, you know, this fuck shit. You know, Jen's like, I got receipts, this, that, and the other. She starts talking this shit. So she busts out with this phone. This stinking whore is standing here in front of everybody, and all of a sudden, she can't unlock the phone. Did she get it unlocked? And what was the date? What was the date? I said, this bitch is sitting up here lying. This stinking whore was lying again. And they done called her on her bluff. And now you can't present that. She ended up looking like a goddamn fool in the middle of this party. Do you hear me? A fool. And then it just went from one thing, it just went into the next thing. And then Tami started going back and forth with her, and Tami was like, bitch, something, 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 and they were going back and forth. And the next thing you know, Jennifer's trying to be, you know, because she don't think that the security ain't going to let her get to her, and she ain't going to show out on Jackie's event. And she was feeling herself, and she called Tami a couple bitches, and Tami was like, you know what, I'm not going to be any more bitches. Bitch, I'm not. And I was like, Tami, you go being a bully. Tami, you being a bully. Because you can't be doing this. You can't be calling people bitches and whores, and then when they call you a bitch or a whore back, then you get ahead of bitch. You can't do that. You ain't doing but bullying her because you know you can. You called me a lot of bitches. And I said, Tami, bitch, you did call her a bitch first. You really did. You really did. But girl, throw a drink on her and smack her just the same. I mean, I'm here for it. Bust her. It's good, because she really needs smacked. She really do, because she's doing the fuck most. She needs smacked. But they broke it out, and Jackie was getting very upset because they were showing out at her thing, and it did get very loud. It got very loud. I was like, oh, God, okay. So it broke off there. You know, they always break off in the middle of the action. They like to do cliffhangers. But that's where they broke off at. That's where I'm breaking off at. We will continue this next week. Last week, saying Tami was like leaning over, so maybe she's going to give her the drink and the smack. Because I'm waiting. I'm waiting, Tami. I'm waiting. But keep in mind, you did call her a bitch first. All right, you guys. I'll talk to y'all later.